So vending machines, you see them everywhere, right? Just quietly humming away in the corner, dishing out snacks and drinks. And they're almost always pitched as the perfect passive income gig. You just set it up and watch the money roll in. Well, today, we're going to pull that curtain all the way back. We're going to look at the real numbers, the actual work involved, and the true potential of this business.
And look, the potential here, it can be absolutely staggering. I mean, get this. We're talking about a mother of three who's running a business with 150 machines. That pulls in over $500,000 a year. This is not just a little side hustle. That is a full-blown empire. Build one bag of chips at a time. It's proof that massive success is possible. But how do you actually get there?
And that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? Is this really the hands-off, set-it-and-forget-it business that you see all over the internet? Or is there a little more to the story? In this explainer, we are going to find out. We're going to separate the myth from the money-making reality.
Okay, so let's get into it. Every single vending journey starts with just one machine. And the good news? You don't need a boatload of cash to start. A lot of successful operators get their very first machine up and running for right around $2,000. That even includes the first batch of snacks and drinks. But your first big decision, it comes right at the very beginning.
So, what's it going to be? Are you going to go for that shiny, brand new machine with all the latest tech, the bells and whistles? Or do you grab a tried-and-true refurbished one to save some serious cash on your startup costs? This isn't just a simple choice. This decision is going to shape your entire first year in business. And you know what? There's no single right answer. Let's break it down.
Let's actually look at the trade-offs here. A new machine, yeah, it's going to set you back anywhere from $3,000 to maybe $10,000. But what you're buying is peace of mind. You get reliability, you get a warranty, and you get modern tech like cashless payments right out of the box. On the flip side, a refurbished machine gets you in the door for under $2,500, but you might be dealing with more maintenance calls and fewer modern features. It's really that classic battle, upfront cost versus long-term risk.
Now, if you do decide to go the used route, listen up, because you have got to be careful. Here are the classic mistakes that can totally sink you before you even start. Skipping a deep, thorough inspection of everything. I'm talking coin mechs, bill validators, the whole shebang. Another one is not asking for its history or maintenance records. And the biggest one, getting tricked by a super cheap price tag only to find out there's zero warranty or support when, not if, something breaks.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about what is, without a doubt, the single most important part of this whole business. It's not the machine you buy, folks, it's where you put it. The old real estate saying has never been more true. It is all about location, location, location.
So what exactly makes a location a total gold mine? Well, it's not just about how many people walk by. You're looking for what we call a captive audience. People who can't just easily leave to go grab a snack, like in an office building, a hospital, or a big apartment complex. They need to have dwell time, which means they're hanging around the area for a while. And the sweet spot? A place with over 100 people coming through regularly with very few other food options nearby.
And this right here is such a critical mindset shift. You have to stop thinking of yourself as just a snack seller. You are a micro real estate investor. Your job is to find, secure, and then monetize little squares of valuable real estate. The person who gets really good at securing those prime locations is the one who wins this game. Now, getting that prime piece of real estate, it usually comes with a price tag. A lot of locations are going to want to cut a commission, which is a percentage of your sales. And as you can see, it really depends on the type of place. A manufacturing plant might take a tiny commission or even none at all because they just see it as a nice perk for their employees. But those high traffic spots, like schools and hospitals, they can demand up to 30%, and that cut comes directly out of your profits.
All right, you've got your machine, you found a spot. Now for the moment of truth. Let's get real about the money. Where does every single dollar you make actually end up? It is time for a serious reality check on the numbers. Let's just start with a baseline number. A decent machine in a pretty good spot can pull in, on average, about $400 a month in gross revenue. Now, that's the top line number. That's all the cash and credit card swipes that go into the machine. But, and this is a big but, you don't get to keep all of it. Not even close. So where does that $400 actually go? Well, it disappears pretty fast. Right off the top, about half of it, poof, gone. That's your cost of goods sold, the actual price of the snacks and drinks you put in there. Then you've got commissions that go to the location owner, you have credit card processing fees, gas for your car to get there, and you got to set a little aside for maintenance. And what's left over? Well, it's the smallest piece of the pie, your net profit. And you know, let's zoom in on those fees for a second. because for little purchases, they can be absolutely brutal. Say someone buys a candy bar for $1.75. The typical processing fee, something like 2.6% plus 10 cents, comes out to nearly 15 cents. That's a tiny little transaction eating up over 8% of your revenue for that one sale, gone before you even see it. It's the perfect example of how that cashless convenience definitely comes at a cost.
So, after all those costs are tallied up, your snacks, the commission, the fees, the gas, that same machine doing $400 a month in revenue, it leaves you with about $113 in your pocket. That's your actual take-home profit. It's not a fortune, but it's a start, and it really shows you just how important it is to manage every single one of your costs.
And this brings us to a huge reality check: your return on investment. You hear people, especially people trying to sell you machines, say you'll make your money back in 6 months. The hard data, it shows it's much, much more likely to take 12 to 14 months to break even on that initial investment. You just have to remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint.
So if one machine is only netting you a little over $100 a month, how in the world do you get to that $650,000 a year number we talked about at the beginning? Well, the answer is all about scaling. But scaling isn't just about going out and buying more machines. It's about building a system.
And let's just be super, super clear about something. Vending is not passive income. Not at all, especially when you're starting out. Think of it more as a semi-passive business. It's a business that really rewards the people who treat it like a serious logistics company. You're managing inventory, you're optimizing driving routes, and you're analyzing sales data.
You know, your actual job changes completely as you grow. When you've got 1 or 2 machines, you're basically the learner. You're just trying to figure out the basics. Get to 5 or 10 machines, and you become a real operator, focused on being efficient. Once you pass 15, you're a manager, and you're probably thinking about hiring some help. And once you hit 30 or more, you're the CEO. You're working on the business, not just in it.
So, how do you make that jump from one stage to the next? You start pulling on some very specific levers. You build route density, which means clustering your machines together to save a ton on gas and drive time. You use your sales data to perfectly optimize the products for each specific location. You embrace cashless tech, which, get this, can boost sales by a crazy 42%. And you use remote monitoring, so your phone tells you exactly what's sold out and when a machine needs service. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
In the end, success really comes down to thinking like a strategist. It comes back to that old saying, would you rather have 100% of a grape or 60% of a watermelon? It's not just about having the highest profit margin on a single item, it's about getting the biggest return in actual dollars for your time and effort. So the real question you have to ask yourself is, are you just building a little side hustle, or are you trying to build an empire?